Jurassic World next. And
Yes, we should.
I'll say that Ryan is, if you don't know of us, a huge Jurassic Park fan.
Yes.
Am I overselling that?
Probably, but
No?
I mean, actually, probably not.
No,
No.
because the way you've talked about it for the last sort of 3 years.
Yeah. So yeah, and basically, I mean, Jurassic Park was my Star Wars when I was a kid. You know, every kid's got that childhood film. I mean, that one film that they just watch, and for me, it was Jurassic Park. So I was very much, involved in all of that. So when I saw that the new Jurassic World film was coming up, the 4th in the series, I was, obviously, I wanted to do that. And even though I was obsessed with Jurassic Park as a kid, that kicked off my obsession with nature and dinosaurs and everything. That, as a kid, you're obsessed with either that or, the superheroes or everything else. For me, it was nature and, the Jurassic Park series. And the series itself, I saw Jurassic Park 3 twice, and that didn't whet my enthusiasm for it, despite talking Raptors, Alan and Tia Leone trying their very best to do that. But it didn't dampen my enthusiasm at all. And I checked every day after Jurassic Park 3 until I started comprehensive school, and the IMDb page was always just saying pre-production. Didn't budge for years. More people were coming in, more people were attached, and it was just disappointing to see. And obviously, as I grew up and just stopped caring, and it faded away, I just saw these things like the horrendous, human dinosaur hybrid concept art, and that leaked script would have the dinosaurs parasailing in with machine guns into war zones, which just, that just killed any lingering enthusiasm I had for it. However, when it was finally put on track in 2011, and it was finally on track with Colin Trevorrow, handpicked by Spielberg, who you might recognise from Safety Not Guaranteed, that lovely little indie film with Aubrey Plaza. I know you've seen that, Liam.
I have,
really nice little sweet sci-fi indie film that you should definitely see. And obviously there's plenty of promo pics for Spielberg and Colin together, so you can definitely see that he was the handpicked, he was the son, he was the man to continue it. And as the release grew nearer and nearer, it felt more and more surreal to see this franchise that I'd been so invested in for so long when I was younger to be resurrected after so long. And as more pictures and trailers came out and all the information came out and you could see all the concept art and everything, it was feeling like a proper film at long last and not just stuck on pre-production on IMDb. It was really just so... I mean, by release, it's a 14-year gap since Jurassic Park 3. And obviously I was unbelievably hyped. So did it pay off though? That's the big question. And for me, I think it did. Jurassic World is basically, it's a direct sequel to the original, on the original island, Isla Nublar, rather than Isla Sorna, which Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 was set on. And set 22 years after the original incident, with Jurassic World now a fully functioning dinosaur park, because what could go wrong?
I mean mistakes were made. We've learned our lesson.
Yeah.
Surely not again.
I was disappointed that he is a spoiler. There's no Jeff Goldblum cameo, so don't get your hopes up. No. I was hoping there was going to be something like, even if it was just horrendously cheesy, or something like just him on a TV screen just shouting about how much of a horrendous idea this is, how much of an awful idea this is. But basically, it's now a fully functioning dinosaur park. Everything's open. You've got everything from Mosasaurus feeding shows to petting zoos, which is probably extremely unethical, but just things that I would have in a general zoo. And the basic premise now is that it has been a while since it's opened, and people are getting bored of the dinosaurs, which is true, because if you look at zoos now, how many people 100 years ago would not be frightened or ecstatic when they saw a real life lion or tiger or giraffe? But now people are in zoos and just, oh look, take a picture of that, that's cool. It's a sad indictment on how we view nature as a people. So obviously that was the main thing, it's that dinosaurs are boring now, and that was the original idea that Trevorrow said. He said that was what Spielberg came with him. It's like the spectacle's gone, there are kids on their phones while a T-Rex is behind them eating. So that was the very central concept of it. So now they're running with that. And basically we're following two kids called Zach and Greer, played by Ty Simpkins, who you might recognise as the kid that Robert Downey Jr. spent half the film with in Iron Man 3, and Nick Robinson, who, I don't know if you recognise, is he in anything major? Who plays the older brother?
Not that I can think of. I hope not.
The older brother?
Yeah. I hope not.
I've seen his face a few times. I think he might have been on TV shows. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he probably was. But they're basically sent there by their parents to distract them as they go through a messy divorce. Judy Greer plays the mother, who's thankfully got more than one line as she did in Tomorrowland, but still not many at all. So basically, that they've been sent there to be looked after by Claire Deering, who's played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who spends the entire film running around in a pair of high heels. Which is,
which is admirable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs are gonna bark.
So she is their aunt, and she's also the park's operations manager. Claire's assistant's taken on as their guide. I mean, that's Kate McGrath. I think that's her name.
Yeah, she's from Merlin.
Yeah, from Merlin, yeah.
Yeah.
So she takes custody of them while Claire deals with her business because she's currently selling to sponsors the new product of the park, the Indominus Rex, which is the Latin translation of Untamable King. So that's the new sort of sell of the park. They've made a new dinosaur, bigger, louder, more teeth to bring in the spectacle and bring viewers back. And it's sort of a hybrid of all these modern day and older dinosaurs that are just... It's an abomination, basically, and it's been brought up in captivity. And she basically needs to know if the paddock's safe to show it to the public. So she goes to the other edge of the island where she finds rough, tough and rumble Owen Grady, who's played by Chris Pratt, who's now on a complete roll and is definitely so hot right now. And he is the archetypal mix of he is a mix of Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, which I like, and then there's that sly bit of Indiana Jones in there, which you can definitely tell that he is perfect for the role now. He will be Indiana Jones in the future. It is going to be made whether we like it or not. They're going to bring it back. So basically, he's got a relationship with the Raptors. Obviously, they are the true villains of the series. It's always been about the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, but the Raptors have been the main villains. They've been the true thinking villains of the series for quite a long time, for all of the films. So obviously, he's had a relationship with them since birth, and they're sort of his Raptor bros now, and he's given them names and everything. So he is very much in control of. He's the alpha of that pack. So she's hoping that he can come in and try and identify any weaknesses. And obviously, the Indominus gets loose, and all hell breaks loose, and things go down because it's Jurassic Park, and you can't have a Jurassic Park film where it's 2.5 hours of them walking around the park like it's a normal SeaWorld. Anyway,
Could be some kind of art film.
like an art film.
as long as Jimmy Buffett's still on.
Taking a bit away from that, like a second. Do you remember? Have you heard of Edge of not Edge of Tomorrow? It's that film where they filmed it in Disney World.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think it is called Edge of Tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, Edge of the World or something like that.
Yeah, Edge of the World or something. They film it all in, like kamikaze guerrilla filmmaking. They're very interesting. You want to check that out. But back to Jurassic World, obviously, it's a film that has come under criticism. And there was that criticism from Joss Whedon about how the clip that was released seemed 70s era sexist because Bryce Dallas Howard's the stuck-up boss who's really cold and apathetic to everything, and Owen Grady's the really rough and tumble. He's going to melt a heart of stone and try and make it's the archetypal romance and the stone romance. That's what it was based on, I think. So I mean, definitely you can see that. So it is. I mean, I think it is a good relationship. I like it, but it's just so forced. I mean, they kiss at a really forced moment, and that didn't need to be there because Bryce Dallas Howard proves throughout that she is a very capable character in herself. She does a lot of the footwork. She is the heavy lifter alongside with Chris Pratt, and they do have a decent relationship with each other outside of the really forced lines. But for me, it was between whether it's a good film itself or whether it's a good Jurassic Park film. And for me, this is probably the best Jurassic Park film that you will get. It is shamelessly nostalgic. It is completely unabashed in what it is. It is the Jurassic Park sequel that people wanted. It's not the middling Jurassic Park 2 or the completely abomination that was a Jurassic Park 3. It is the perfect sequel to what Jurassic Park was going to get. It is nostalgic in every way that it could have been. It's got the original visitor center. It's got the original T-Rex. It's got everything that you would have wanted. It is just, and then even though the themes just, it's going over buildings, they blow that money shot within the first 5 minutes, but it is so worth it to see just the original theme blaring once more, and it's in a true sequel that deserves it, and isn't just that. I mean, obviously there is quite a lot of product placement that's come under a bit of flack. One of the characters goes, "Hey, you want to see something awesome?" as a Mercedes goes past. It is shameless, but as again, in a real dinosaur park, you would have product placement like that. So it's fair enough. But I think, obviously it is just a typical summer blockbuster, but for me it was as good as Jurassic Park sequel that we're going to get. It does touch on the themes about genetic hybrids and all the militarization. I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio's villain's pretty cookie cutter, but his sort of subplot's the thing I'm worried about, because if they do any sequels, it is probably going to be like Jurassic War with the raptors holding guns.
Jurassic Shop.
I'd really do want that, yeah. Jurassic Shop. Just
Jurassic
one raptor
Metro.
in a shop. Like I don't want that. I don't want that so bad. So that's the thing. I don't want that to go down that route. But
Jurassic
it is
Nursery.
Yeah, but as a Jurassic Park sequel, I think it was as perfect as it was going to get, because it is totally shameless. There were some great action sequences. The last 30 minutes are basically an orgasm for Jurassic Park fans. If you are a Jurassic Park fan, you're going to love this. Obviously it's nowhere near as good as the first one, but it was going to be as good as it gets. Michael Giacchino does a really good job rescoring everything. It's a really good reworked version of the score. There are great moments. It's decently shot as well. Obviously Colin Trevorrow keeps the action getting along really well. I really enjoyed that about it. But the thing, literally, it is just shamelessly nostalgic, and that's the best thing about it. If you want to enjoy a good Jurassic Park sequel, this is as good as it's going to get. But please don't make Jurassic War or Jurassic Universe. Just don't.
And we'll be talking about that when it comes out in 2 years' time.
Yeah, in 2 years' time.
Yep. Joe, what did you think, quickly?
Well, pretty much everything Ryan says, I suppose, because we haven't really got much time. But I think if you're not a big fan of Jurassic Park, I think if you're not as nostalgic, maybe it won't hit you as much. Because if you're not, like Ryan says, it pretty much is a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Really, that's
if
all.
If I wasn't a massive fan as I was of Jurassic Park as a child, this wouldn't have resonated with me as much. But I was, and it did.
Yeah, if you don't get the hints or the the callbacks or anything, which are like really blatant.
Yeah.
I think you just got to really be in it for the dinosaurs killing people and killing each other.
We need more dinosaur stupidity.
Which you're going to get, especially for the last like half an hour. That's basically all it is. So if you're into that, you'll love that. But if you're not, like, I'm not really that bothered.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it that much. It was just regular blockbuster stuff for me. That's all it was.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thoughts. I mean, I only watched Jurassic Park maybe a week before. I'm just catching up with everything really. But because everything was still so fresh in my mind, the moments that are supposed to resonate with fans, they did resonate with me because I could kind of understand why people like it. Even if I wasn't really that fond of it myself. It was fun. It sort of sags in the middle a bit where the chemistry doesn't really work, but I think Bryce Dallas Howard's better than Chris Pratt. I think he's going to burn out really fast, but I think she's maybe starting to sort of retrieve her career from some bad franchise decisions in the past. I think this could be a good sort of step for her. I'm just concerned that Chris Pratt's going to get burned out far too quick. But I think on the raptor scene when he's on the bikes, I think
that's just so badass.
I think
how can you hate a film
he
like
looks
that
like an indie there. He looks like if there was to be an indie, I want him to do that, but nothing else. He's got so much in the pipeline. We're gonna get sick of him.
It's smart, shamelessly stupid, and nostalgic. That's the way I can put it.
We've kind of run out of time, so we can't really talk about Spy too much.
I can say something brief about it.
You can say it very brief. Go for it.
Yeah, so obviously Spy's new film directed by Paul Feig. I had reservations about this, not least because of the trailer that I feel now missold the film completely, but also because of Melissa